Underrated. You know, those people, places, or things that just people don't really talk about, but you know in your heart of hearts, it's fire. Now in music, it's common practice to drop a single before the album, and that single most of the time ends up as the most streamed song on the album. You got those bangers that when you listen to the first time you instantly add to your playlist, those intermediates that are like, hey, they're cool, they valid, and then you got your skips. Now in my opinion, Juice has rarely ever dropped a skip. That statement is coming from no place of bias, none at all. But he for sure has a bunch of underrated tunes. Now when I say underrated, I do not mean it's peak, I do not mean it's a pinnacle of the album, I just simply mean it's valid and it deserves some more recognition. Now my criteria of finding out what song is underrated is by checking the views, and when I say view count, I mean YouTube views, because I do not got Spotify Premium, and I just realized to see the streaming counts for every single song, you need to actually have that. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. My broke ass college student self is not buying it. And final rule, I'm just gonna focus on album songs, because if it's a single, chances are it's gonna already have a lot of views on it. So with all that being said, let's get on to the list. It's only right to start this list off with going back to the 999 EP. The most notable track from this is, well, I'm pretty sure you already know. Alright, little edit. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to just do 2 songs for each album because the decisions are so hard right now. I'm gonna go with 2 Cups or Everything's Going My Way with 3.7 million views, which is wild.
2 cups, pull me up at Ave. New drugs, do you wanna take? New girl from around the way. New car, do you wanna raid?
2 Cups is more of a song that you would vibe to. I'd actually compare the feeling I have for this song with Moonlight. It had like the same like type of aesthetic to it. And then I'm gonna go You Don't Love Me, all one word by the way.
I'm too drunk to care, drunk to care. All you do is stop and stare.
I definitely like this song more sonically because it's just more upbeat, but obviously still like a sadder song. You're probably gonna see that theme a lot with the songs coming up too, because we are moving on to my favorite album by far from Juice, Goodbye and Good Riddance. Now this album in retrospect has like an insane amount of views altogether. Well, one, because of the fact that it's like 5 years old, but also because a lot of these songs are just bangers. And the same applies with this song, because the placement of this song at like the latter half of the album really helped end this album on a high note. And that's I'll Be Fine.
Yesterday it was a long night. I didn't do the right drugs, only on the wrong night.
Now admittingly, I'm more of a fiend for Juice's hype songs, and to some of you guys that are not really in tune with Juice's music, yes, he does make hype music. You see, so I see Goodbye and Good Riddance split up into 2 parts. Obviously, the goodbye part where he's like insanely depressed about losing the girl, and then the Good Riddance part where it's like, fuck you, bitch, you're gone. And of course, I'll Be Fine landed on that latter half. And I'm a simple man, I'm just gonna say I love the energy of the song. Now, I will say that little 30 seconds at the end of the song is not really my cup of tea, but like, you know, it's nothing that takes me completely out of the song. I'm fine with it, honestly. But I will say, I need that studio session to leak. Alright, next from Goodbye and Good Riddance, I Got Used To.
I've been drinking and driving to survive it. Take my sorrow and bury me alive in it.
Never before this would I ever actually say to myself that I like repetitive songs. And you know what? It's probably because the song is short, because it's insanely catchy, man. Also, that guitar melody and the instrumental is heavenly. And even though it's basic, it's still one of my favorite instrumentals from Nick Mira ever. And when I first listened to the album and heard his like vocal quality, I was like, oh, is he really going for like a radio sound with this? I'm like, okay, that's stylistic, might be a little gimmicky. Boy, was I wrong. Fire ass song. Moving on to World on Drugs. It's apparent that it wasn't the best received album, but you know, we're gonna share the blame here. But to me, my favorite for sure track is actually Realer and Realer.
She getting realer and realer. Came up on a couple of million. I invested in some buildings. Look at my money and triple.
Yeah, this album got its fine china, but Realer and Realer, man, oh, that is an all-around banger. Juice and Future really slid on this one. One of my favorite hype songs from Juice for sure. And next we got Astronauts, and I actually think this is a track where Future actually went insanely hard on. That chorus especially.
They go hot, give you a halo, at your neck, ready or not, me and Pluto, astronaut.
And now we're moving on to Death Race for Love. Now I would have went to Maze, but it actually looks like you guys have a lot of streams on Maze, so let's just go straight to Make Believe.
Just for talking nonsense, claiming she was leaving.
Honestly, don't have a crazy description for this, just really catchy. And the second selection, which I really wanted to give to Who Shot Cupid, but you know what, I'm leaning more towards The Bee's Knees.
You wanna fuck me, bitch, them fuckers, you wanna kill me, nigga, them fuckers.
Now the second part of the song is alright to me. Obviously it's not the exact same tone as he had for like the hype part of the song, but in my opinion, I'd like it if he just made those 2 different songs, because I feel like it works by itself alone. It just really isn't the best thing with the big song transition, but I will admit, it's all around solid. Alright, now we're moving on to the first posthumous release of Juice WRLD, Legends Never Die. First, I'm selecting Can't Die.
My heart, hope to survive. I'ma be
And honestly, I just love the beat selection with this. The guitar had some like Western feel to that. I forgot what the sample was, but it was a great selection. And man, Juice really rides that beat perfectly. And next is one of my top 3 songs on the album, Bad Energy.
Just got a call from the dark side. Stab wounds in my chest, but I'm alright. I miss my friends, I hate this spotlight.
Insane chorus, trust me. I just revisited the song like a couple days ago. Play that song at like midnight with hella bass on your speakers. Trust me, it's a euphoric experience. And finally, the last released album to this day, Fighting Demons. Overall, the entire album's streams and views are pretty lackluster, I will not lie, and that's because Grade A doesn't know how to promote an album. But anyways, my first selection would be You Wouldn't Understand.
I break the pill in the minerals, then I put it in my cereal. They look at me as a criminal, hate on the kid cause this shit getting critical.
Back when the song was unreleased, oh my goodness, this would be on my playlist every single day, bro. The highlights of the track are definitely the verses. The prime example of Juice being elite at flow switching. Had me thinking this was just a hype song, bro. And for my final selection, we're gonna take Until the Plug Comes Back Around. No. We're gonna call it by its unofficial fan-made name, Ration. I'm sorry, Juice. You just could not name songs.
Super serious, this shit ain't a game. I feel delirious, beast in a cave.
And well, that's my list. Honestly, it's super wild that some of these songs are actually as low viewed as they are. Like, it's just crazy from the quality that they have. And honestly, if this vid does well, I'm just gonna do another one for unreleased songs. It helps if you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can see the video first. Also, I got a second channel in the description with funnier content on there. I'm gonna start posting there more regularly because I have extra time. And with all that being said, Sauce 999 and peace.
She said she want herself a Superman. Well, I'm a trooper, man. Killing the game yet again. I'm going stupid, man. Goes to show that hard work beats all the petty tricks. I bet your fucking knees hurt.